Welcome to the Melbourne Content Studio, the space where we talk with business owners about all things business. I'm your host, Vic Walker.
You want to talk about show business in general and you want to talk about how to get into the film industry, this is the video to watch. So I've got Michael here. I think you're the best person to introduce yourself, Michael. So I've met Michael through a movie club that we had locally, and it was a movie that you produced.
Hi, I'm Michael Nikou. I'm a filmmaker, producer, writer and actor. And I have made one feature film, or I didn't make it on my own, I made it with an army of people, called Slant, which is a dark comedy thriller set in Melbourne in the late 90s. And that was released into cinemas in October of 2023 and is now available on multiple streaming platforms. Watch it now, Apple TV, Amazon, etc.
Is it free on Apple TV?
It's not free, you have to rent it, but you can watch it for free on, there's different platforms, Google it, you'll find ones where you can watch it for free, maybe with ads, and then ones where you might have to pay, $3 or $4 to rent it.
Yeah.
And now I'm working on my second feature film, just got development funding from Screen Australia, and I do all things creative. Sometimes I get hired.
Is the second feature film, the sequel?
No, I'm working on an original piece called Who Hates the Papadopoulos House, which is a dark comedy as well, and a satire about a family who cheats on Australia's biggest game show and win the grand prize.
You do like your dark comedy, don't you?
Yeah, well, life's dark and funny.
Yeah.
So that's where, but that doesn't mean I will always do just that. I think maybe that's just where I'm sitting at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great. So how is it getting into the film industry in Australia?
Well, it's a small industry, so you're up against it in the sense that there's just less opportunities. You would argue that then there's less people doing it, but there's actually, like it always is in entertainment, it's over subscribed for. A lot of people really want to be doing it.
Yeah.
But that's why I think it's important to be multifaceted in terms of your approach. So I used to be just an actor, and then I studied as a writer, and then I learned how to produce. And really, as many hats as you can wear will make it easier for you to make work, find your way. Yeah.
So you're not relying on outsourcing, and that will cost money, of course, as well. So if you can do it yourself, you save a little bit of money there, or not?
Yeah, I mean, it's also, unfortunately, it's just one of those art forms that costs a lot of money. Productions are very expensive.
How do you get your funding?
Well, it's always through multiple streams, and how we specifically raise the money for finance for Slant will be different from my next film, but we've got our government screen bodies, so Screen Australia and Vic Screen, private investment. There's also certain tax benefits in Australia. So for instance, you can make we have something called the producer offset, which is a 40% tax rebate on your budget. So I only have to find 60% of my budget, essentially.
Nice. Do you have to apply for that every time, or is it just
yes, you have to apply for that, and then so you have to loan that 40% in order to make the film. But then once you make the film, you submit everything and you get a tax rebate, so you get that money paid back to you. It's all very finicky economics, boring stuff, but it is part of how it gets done. And then there's non-for-profit organisations. We got some grants, and we got some, Queer Screen cut us a check, and you sort of cobble it together. Yeah.
And what about just personal investment?
I invested in my first film. I don't think I'd do it again, not because it was a good idea. I'm glad I did to get it made, but otherwise you can sort of just keep feeding the beast. Yeah. And once you learn how to navigate the industry, especially once you've made one feature, it's a very risk-averse industry. Yeah. As are, I guess, a lot of industries. So no one believed we could make Slant. They were like, "You can't make this film. You've never made a film before." Yeah. So it was very hard for us to get funding. Yeah. But now that we have made a film, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, of course. No, I meant like not your own personal funding, but just from personal investors rather than organisation,
Oh yeah, so that's just about your networks, and it's, once you can get some funding, it's a lot easier to get more, because people don't really want to board a ship unless they think other people are boarding it. So, once we started to sort of get the ball rolling.
Safety in numbers.
Yeah, people like, if you've already got X amount of dollars, whatever it is, and you can say that in your pitch to people.
Yeah.
We've already got $50,000.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
oh, okay, well, someone else already boarded
Yeah,
this
yeah.
train. Whereas if you're starting from zero, people are just like, do I want to be the first person that boards this
No
project?
one wants to be the first person.
No one wants to be the first person.
No.
So,
And as you said before, once you've created a movie and it is successful, it's just like anything as well. Like once you create a business, like, you know, my first business idea, no one thought I could make it. And once you start proving that, you know, you can make it, people just don't question. They just kind of trust you afterwards, don't they?
yeah, totally, absolutely. That's how it works. I mean, we're experiencing that now with our second film. We're
Yeah.
finding doors opening to us, our team,
Yeah.
that were very much closed
Yeah.
the first time around.
Yeah. Oh, that's so much easier. That's good. It's the first hurdle that is the hardest. In terms of getting, you know, people together, actors, and I mean, does Melbourne have a wide range of talent that you can draw upon?
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's talent everywhere, I believe. But yeah, Melbourne is full of amazing artists of all different disciplines, and with Slant it was, I mean, everyone was, we didn't fly anyone in.
Yeah.
So everyone was a Melbourne-based artist.
Did they audition for it?
No, not everyone. In fact, in terms of our cast, only 2 actors auditioned, really. Everyone else was an offer.
Yeah.
Through someone I knew,
Yeah.
or they were a friend of mine who I really thought would be great at the role.
Yeah.
But usually auditioning is the process. And then with non-acting roles, other creative roles, it was, you know, interviewing.
Yeah.
Seeing their work, seeing their portfolio,
Right.
seeing
So
their
you mean like
websites.
behind the scenes stuff?
Exactly.
Yeah, great. Do you get paid much as an actor?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the rates, we are bound by what's called our Media Entertainment Arts Alliance. That's our union. Their minimums.
Yeah.
So, and then there are, oh god, it's so boring. Well, I hope it's not. But there's like different elements. Like you have to pay something called international rights loading if you want to release the film overseas. You have to pay a certain percentage on top of the base fee. Obviously, some actors, especially if they're successful and have names, can negotiate larger fees.
Course.
But even the base rate for just a day player, as we call them, is pretty good. It's like not a bad wage if you can get the work. But the work can be hard to come by.
Yeah, exactly. It's like UGC creator. I do a lot of UGC, which is user-generated content. So ads and, you know, all that stuff for people or brands. It's all moving towards that way. Again, you know, how long is a piece of string? How much do you pay for each creator? And it depends on like their experience, their connections, and so on. Yeah, and also, you know, like if you want someone quite with a unique talent or a unique look. How much is it to produce a film?
Oh, well, that's another one that's like, how long's a piece of string?
Yeah.
Because budgets are scalable, and you know, there's the micro budget version of a film, or whatever the lowest amount, and then, you know, we can go up and up and up. If I want to get Nicole Kidman,
How much was it to produce Slant?
well, Slant was $1 million.
Wow. Okay.
But again, these things are so scalable. It depends on the script.
Yeah.
Does it? What's the content of the script? Do we
Yeah.
have stunts? How many locations? That is all going to affect what the budget is. So there really actually, I know it's not the answer that maybe you wanted, but there is no ballpark.
Yeah.
I've seen feature films made on, you know, under $100,000,
Right.
and then all the way up to literally 250 million,
Yeah.
$400 million.
Of course,
So it just depends on the film. And
Yeah. Was Slant profitable?
yes, technically, yes, it was profitable.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because the way that you sort of calculate that it's profitable, and because there's so many different people who have a stake in the film, it's depending on where you sit in the revenue stream of that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Quite timeless, don't you think? Like, you can watch it 10 years' time and it's not...
I think
Not
the
dated.
themes are universal, I would hope, even though the film's set in 1999 but was filmed in, you know, 2022.
Yeah.
It speaks to themes of family and news media, and those things of family and news media have been around, well, family's been around forever.
Yeah.
So, yes, I hope you can watch our film for many years to come and still find it relevant.
And do you try and put a lot of, you know, Melbourne and Australians, you know, what's the word, idiosyncrasies in the film? You know, like the castle is very Melbourne base. Do you try and do that with your film?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, with with Slant, and then with the next film that I'm writing, I'm Australian, and you know, I write what I know, and what I know is that I'm a boy that has lived in Melbourne most of his life. So I just write true to the experience of myself and the characters happen to be from Melbourne. So I guess the long answer is to your short question. Is yes, I do. Not to say I might not indulge another day in something that's maybe more cosmopolitan, but I'm very interested in Australian stories. And Melbourne ones at that.
Yeah, right. So you wrote Slant. You wrote this next one as well.
Yeah.
What's the next one called?
Who Hates the Papadopoulos
House?
You
said that. Oh my goodness, I do say. What is it about? Give me a quick summary without any spoilers.
Who Hates the Papadopoulos House is about a family who maybe or maybe doesn't cheat on Australia's biggest game show, and they win a mansion and a pile of cash, and then 25 years later they try and sell that mansion, and something crazy happens and things
so it's
unfold.
Like the dynamics of the family.
It's very much about the family. And
you did that with Slant as well.
Yeah, I'm very interested in dysfunctional families, which I think my family, much to my family's chagrin,
every family.
Well, it's relatable content. So.
Yeah, for sure. Have you started filming?
No. So we just finished what's called a writer's room. That was what Screen Australia funded. I had a first draft, and now after that writer's room, I'm now working on the second draft, and then we'll be working on financing. Financing it is the next stage, and this one will be more expensive, so it'll take some time.
So when you say writer's room, how many writers are there?
So the writer's room was led this time by Marique Hardy, who's an amazingly talented artist, and she led myself, Monique Fisher, who's lead producer on the project, Sigrid Thornton, who was in my first film Slant and is executive producing this second film, and we also have a note taker who was really creatively involved, a good friend of mine, Sophie Power. So there's us in the room, and we're breaking apart the script, the first draft, every character arc, every beat, what story it is I'm trying to tell, and Marique sort of leads us through how we can elevate the film, and because films take several drafts.
So you came up with the overall idea.
Oh yeah. Like I wrote the plot is the same. I mean, obviously lots of things change and grow in that writer's room. There's a lot of evolution in terms of the characters' arcs and the plot, but it's still very much the original story and the original characters.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like so much changes yet so much stays the same.
Yeah.
But it's imperative, and that process takes. I mean, Slant had 18 drafts.
Right. How long did it take to write Slant?
Started writing it in 2017, and then cameras rolled in 2021, actually. So
wow, 4 years.
Yeah, they say the average feature film takes 7 years.
Wow.
So we beat the average, actually.
Yeah. So what about this one? How long is it taking you?
I started writing this one soon after we wrapped Slant. Actually, it was during one of the lockdowns. We shot Slant in between those two massive snap lockdowns, or those two long lockdowns, and it was the second one. So after we rewrapped Slant, but then I've been writing other projects in between. And the way I write is I often write.
Yeah.
And then once I finish a draft or whatever phase I'm in, I put it away and I don't look at that project for several months. I just sort of let it marinate on the back burner, and then I'll come and revisit it later with fresh eyes. So it's very much back and forth.
So have you got other things on the back burner? Like have you got other scripts and other stories?
Yep, I do.
Yeah.
So I've got another feature
that
I'm working on. I'm working on a micro budget feature. So that's if we're talking budget, that's one that I believe I can make for under $200,000.
Wow,
That's very cheap for a film. I might actually like to direct that one. That might be a directorial debut if I can wrangle that.
Right.
And then there's a mockumentary I've been making with my students, because I also teach, that we've made over the course of 3 years, very lo-fi, and now I'm looking to sort of remake it but with higher production value.
Right.
And then lots of other projects, some that I'm involved in, not as a writer or as a producer or as an actor or things. Yeah.
So do you do any theatre, like live theatre, with your projects?
Ooh, not for a while, but I would like to get back into that. Not for a while. I did play at the beginning of the year. What am I talking about? Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
I think that because I have my own company and I'm so focused on generating my own work,
Right.
and I really want to, see as many fruits for my labour as possible. I do tend to sort of go all in on these feature films just because they take so much effort and so much time, but you really have something that's like immortal by the end of it. Like
Yes.
Slant will live forever.
Yeah, and it's scalable as well, isn't
And
it?
it's scalable, but I think that with theatre, even though I love theatre and I love watching it, I just went to the theatre, and I would love to be in it more. I think there's something so sad for me about like it just sort of exists in the ether of my memory after it's done. Whereas like with film, I get this relic that will live on after I die.
Yeah.
Maybe this speaks to some weird issues I have about dying. I don't know.
You want to be immortal, you want to be remembered, I guess.
No, that makes you sound like an egomaniac. But maybe we're tapping into something, and I'll speak to my therapist about it
Oh dear.
on Thursday.
Oh no. So let's get back to your company. What's it called?
Bim Bim Films.
Wow, and so it's a production company?
Production company, distribution as well, because my team and I, Monique Fisher and James Vinson, the director of Slant, and Monique, the producer of Slant, we retained the rights to Slant. Mm-hmm. So the three of us co-own, and a fourth producer actually, Alexia Users from Exile Entertainment. Produce, distribute.
Yeah.
They're the two main things.
Is it full-time work or?
No, not full time. I mean, yes, it is in the sense that I'm doing it all the time and I'm attached to my
Thinking about
phone.
it all the time, yep.
But I also teach. I work for other companies and I have other creative work.
Yeah.
So I have
Where do
multiple
you
companies.
teach?
I teach at a school called Brave Studios and Green Tree Acting School, technically owned by the same people.
Yeah.
Which is in Footscray, and I teach teenagers and children acting.
Oh wow. And what other sort of sources of income do you do?
So acting gigs. So
Do you
for
get
instance,
many?
many? No. Enough to supplement my income. Yeah. So and sometimes it's not as traditional as what you might think in terms of like a TV gig or a movie gig.
Yeah.
Like for instance, just this week I was at the VCA, Victorian College of the Arts, where their directors' master's students need experience working with professional actors, so they pay me to come in and work with them so they get experience working with professional actors. So there's lots of things like that, workshops and short films and TV and plays, profit share theatre. There's lots of ways you can still make a little bit of money as an actor, but in terms of those that are making a full-time income from it, it's definitely the rarity.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really great, amazing, successful Australian actors who you would know by name and face, who supplement their income with teaching or with other things.
You're aiming to get to that next step of, the big stars.
I mean, yes, in theory, because I would like to be working as much as possible in the field that I want to be working in. Big stars is like...
Hugh Jackman and
yeah, that's people. Like young Michael probably had more stars. I mean, it's not that I am like against that.
Yeah.
I just think obviously courting fame specifically is a very toxic thing because it's not real. I know lots of famous people who are some of the most miserable people in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like for real, quite miserable. So I have learnt that lesson by proxy of these other people. Yeah. I think the most important thing is just...
Follow your passion.
Follow your passion. That sounds so sappy,
I
but
know, it does, doesn't it?
Be happy and have a life. Especially for creatives, they can get so obsessed with I have to do this. I have to become a star. Whatever they think they need to be doing. Succeed. And it's like if you do make that your whole life and you become obsessive about it, it will really hollow you out and narrow you down.
And isolate you. So
and I used to be like that when I was younger. And now I'm more like, well, my relationships, my friendships, my family, and
life balance.
Yeah, all that. It's super cliche, but
I know, but it's true though. I think when you get more mature, you tend to see the bigger picture than when you're young and naive and chasing that carrot.
Yeah, and if you're trying to fill the hole in your heart with just this one thing. I mean, it's a pretty cliche story. You're never going to be happy if you think that's just success is going to do it for you. Yeah. So if anyone is watching about that, really go to therapy now.
Yeah, sure. So social media, the rise of social media, how is that affecting your career, your industry?
Oh God, I've heard so many things about this from some productions definitely wanting like people to have social media followings, their cast, because it helps with audience.
Personal brands, all
You
that
know,
stuff.
I think it was Maya Hawke who came out recently and spoke about how like she doesn't have social media, I think, and a director told her, it's like, it's not that we can't hire you because you don't have a social media following, it's that there is a quota for this production, or the production company, the studio has a quota, they want this many social media followers amongst the whole cast. So if you don't have the social media following, then one of the other actors that we cast is going to have to fill that gap for you.
Right.
Again, I've heard of this, but I also have seen so many examples of, influencers not getting the role whilst, a truly talented actor with no social media following does.
Yeah.
So I think it's actually more relevant to independent productions that are not going to have this budget to be able to publicise widely. That's when they often really care about getting someone with a following. So it's actually a lot of like indie films that I can see the production is really eager and desperate to get someone with
Because they're using
social
that
media
for their marketing as well.
Well, it's the only, because they don't have the money to spend on billboards and commercials and online advertisement. So if they get someone with, 250,000 Instagram followers, it means a huge thing. It's exposure, and they put it in the contract. You have to post about our project, and then that's
of course.
it's free
It's
advertising.
That's how the market is moving. But you do have a social media personal profile, haven't you?
I do, yeah. I haven't posted in a while, and I don't. I'm certainly not putting as much effort into it as I think some people who are like about content creation. I've sort of dabbled in it a little bit. When the election was on, I was
you did a lot of political
I was
stuff.
doing, because I'm very motivated by that. I am very passionate about our political landscape and corruption and all manner of things, politics. So because of the time, I was very focused on, this is what I can do. I can create stuff and put it out there, and then once the election was over, I sort of went back into my little cave and go back to writing my script. But in 3 years' time, catch me again making political skits to try and influence fives of tens of people to vote how I think they should vote.
You don't think your personal profile will help, your next film or your slant film?
Like maybe, I just don't have I don't have thousands of followers.
No, no one has thousands of followers to start with. I mean, that's how you build it up.
No, yeah, look, I'm sure if I put the effort in, or if it just so happens, then I'm not going to delete my social media.
No.
If I just became an influencer for whatever reason, I'm like, that word influencer is so weird.
No.
But if I developed, a large following, for sure I'd use it to my advantage.
Yeah.
I just happen to not have a huge social media following at the moment, so I just sort of do my thing. I'm just not focusing on it as much. Maybe I should. But it's just not. It also takes a lot of effort.
It does.
Like
it takes a lot of effort.
making that content and editing it and
Yeah.
all of that is it's time consuming, and so life is busy and fast and hard, and when you've got
I mean, it is time
for something you care
consuming
about.
to start off with. Like I used to spend half an hour trying to think and edit and overthink a video, but as anything, the more practice you do, the quicker you get, and it takes 5 minutes just to talk about a topic. I try and post consistently every day, once a day, and I've built up my following that way. And I think, and I do coach like personal brands, not personal brands, business to have their personal brands, because people buy from people who they know, like, and trust. And I think when you came to the movie club, everyone really appreciated that, because they got to know you, and I think it's the conversations you have that works, that opens more doors than any hard work can get you.
See, that I much prefer. Like we did a press tour for Slant where we were doing Q&A screenings all across the country, and connecting with audiences, and speaking to and connecting with my community especially. You don't have to push me to do that, because I find that very enriching. I like learning about other people. I want to, especially when it comes to my own work, I am interested to see how you react, whether you loved it, whether you hated it,
Yeah.
and you know, let's have a discussion. So coming along to a cinema club and who have gone to the cinemas to watch my movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Like that's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
Creating content, I'm like, oh, it's so nebulous, right? Because you
Yeah.
put something out into the universe and like, you know, you'll get 1,000 likes or whatever, but it doesn't feel personal. I'm not feeling that connection to my audience as
No.
much.
Not yet, not to start off with, but once they start feeding back. Start with a niche, like for example, what you can help them with. Like for example, let's say teaching people how to act. Then you can start a platform that gives young actors tips and tricks or encouragement or anything like that. And you know, you start doing little clips, and then you get that following, you get that trust, and people start interacting with you, asking you questions, and then you can use that platform to answer the questions as well. So in that way, you're reaching so many more people than, you know, going to like a keynote speaking event or something. I do believe that, you know, if you did work on your personal profile, you would reach so many people because you're very charismatic, and people, you know, like, yeah, people do really support you, you know.
Oh, that's very.
Yeah.
I hope that's true. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah. Have you heard of vertical movies?
I've vertical movies and TV shows. Yeah, I've got a friend that actually shoots them overseas.
Yeah.
I'm familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, and they do a lot of that now on.
I'm
social
amazed at
media.
how large the market is for it. I didn't
so,
realise.
So big, so big. I know, right? And there are, you know, vertical movie actors, you know, that does just vertical movies, and it's just a series of 5 minutes, like a Netflix series, but only 5 minutes.
Sometimes they're 1 minute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But then they have a storyline as well. I think they're becoming more and more successful because kids, especially, are just watching things on their phones.
Oh yeah, the younger generation.
Yeah,
the younger generation,
yeah.
which I'm part of.
Yeah.
But the attention span is.
Yeah, not only the younger generation, but it's just even, you know, the Gen X, and it's just the doom scrolling. You know, sometimes my partner's watching something like Tour de France, which I'm not interested in, and I just sit next to him and watch something on my phone. So I don't know. I think it's something to think about there, especially like you could do little teasers for your next movie, or even slant, like have clips. They do that too. They extract little clips and turn that into vertical movies, and then that then promotes the bigger movie because people want to watch the rest of it. Use that almost like a trailer.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. We've moved on so much from traditional commercials. I mean, my kids used to be in a lot of commercials, and it's not like that anymore. Like social media has made everything so unpolished, and so that's where the UGC comes in, user generated, and more authentic, and more people follow people's lifestyles rather than products. So I was just thinking about how to marry the two in terms of, like, say, a brand using vertical movies as like product placement rather than direct sales. Successful campaigns is when the dress has been worn, either like, you know, day in a life or get ready with me or whatever, and the questions, the interactions in the DMs, you know, people saying, oh, I love your dress, where'd you get that from? It gives you the permission to tell them where it's from. But whereas, you know, if you come across like this dress and this is, you know, where it's from, yeah, people tend to just back away from that. If you like tee up with a brand, that could cross-promote. I think cross-promoting is really very important.
A lot of comedic social media personalities will sometimes partner with a brand, and it'll be a skit. You know, I watch this someone I follow, her name's Delaney Rowe, I think. And she's very funny, and she does all sorts of, you know, sort of spoofs, if you will, on classic pop culture zeitgeisty things. And she partnered with Venmo, which is like an American-based, like how you can transfer money. And but she did it as though she was on Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel, one of the Jimmys, and like a successful actress being interviewed, and like she weaved it into her story.
Yeah.
And it was just like a funny skit.
Yeah.
And it's not hiding the fact. I think people also don't like to be gotcha'd that they're being advertised something. It's just like, oh, I'm watching an ad that was trying to pretend it's not an ad.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it's clearly an ad, but it's so funny and it's entertaining that you're like, well, this is cute, and I'll watch this because it's got this other layer to it. It's clever. Just like back in the day on, you know, broadcast television, if a commercial was really funny or iconic,
you remember it.
Well, you remember it. Like, you know, who doesn't remember Not Happy Jan or like whatever. I don't even remember what they were advertising in Not Happy Jan. What were they advertising in Not Happy Jan?
Yellow Pages or something.
Was it that?
It doesn't even exist anymore, the Yellow Pages.
Or, you know, that woman that...
Or the songs, or the jingles.
The songs and jingles, of course, like they're always going to sort of be earworms that get stuck in your mind. Like that one with the woman selling the milk at the milk bar, and she goes through like all the different milks. Yeah. It's like 2% whole fat skinny milk bar, whatever it is. Yeah. Just make me laugh. Yeah. That's it. I just want to laugh, and then maybe and in fact, if your commercial is like annoying, sometimes I will go out of my way to not buy that product.
But then you remember it too, though.
Yeah, but I won't buy it. I'll be like, this has irritated me. So, so be careful not to irritate people.
Such a fine line. What advice would you give to your younger self?
Ooh. Chill out, probably, and like be more open-minded about the possibilities when it comes to where your path could go. I think I used to have sort of a very narrow view about like, this is what I want to do and this is how I can achieve it. So I think relax, be open to expanding your skill set beyond, you know, I used to buy into this saying, I don't want to, jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah. There's actually an extension there's an end to that saying that often gets lopped off.
Right,
which
never heard of it.
And I would have to Google it, but it essentially says it actually is better for you to have different skill sets because they will all feed into each other, and that would be the main thing is like if you want to be an actor or you want to be whatever it is you want to be, don't think that you have to focus so obsessively on that one thing to the exclusion of maybe other things.
You box yourself in.
You box yourself in. Like, you know, when I started to learn how to write, it made me a better actor. When I learned how to produce, it made me a better writer. Like, all the different sensibilities that I indulged in informed each other and helped elevate.
Transferable skills. I think just be curious. You know, like curiosity
Always be curious and don't, you know, let your emotions drive you, because that's when you will make unwise choices. I guess. Now we're getting into
no, believe me, I got like diagnosed with ADHD, and I know all about the emotion part. Story of my life, you know.
You'll make unwise choices everywhere. Yeah. Like in your personal life, in your professional life, if you're emotionally dysregulated. So like getting to know yourself and, you know, sort of coming into that center of health. Yeah. You'll make better choices and then you'll have better outcomes. Yeah. I think in every facet of your life. Yeah. So it's really important.
So not let people tell you you can't do something.
Nah, you can do whatever you want.
Sometimes it's people who care about you because they don't actually see your vision. They're not in your mind. They don't see the full picture in your mind. And sometimes they are just trying to protect you from failing because they don't know how they can do it themselves.
Totally, but you can't live your life as someone else, and you have to, you know, trust your vision. Yeah. Completely. That's what with Slant, it took a long time to get people on board. And as I said, there were some people who did say no to Slant. Yeah. And now are saying yes to us. Yes. I won't.
No.
I won't name the term. And it's because, they just had doubt. They didn't believe it was achievable. No. And then once you can show...
It was a risk.
It was a risk, and that's fine. It's actually not, you know, to cast aspersions against the quality of these people's character. Yeah. It's just, you know, how do you believe in something that you literally can't see? Yeah. So I get it. Why would you? Yeah. You want to know that it's possible before you can give it some support.
Failure is not a bad thing either. Like, you're making mistakes, it's all part of life, and you just learn from it, pivot. I don't think you should see that as a stop.
No, fail gloriously is, I think, what Kate Blanchett says. Yeah. So that's where your biggest lessons will come. Yeah.
So what's next? Besides the next movie, what is the next big picture of your life? What do you want to... What's on your bucket list? What do you want to do?
Apart from just like continuing to create and write and act,
Do you want to stay in Melbourne?
I will for now. I've got dogs, so I couldn't move them at the moment.
Yeah.
But maybe one day, yeah, I would consider a move overseas.
Right. Where would you go? Not America at this time.
No. I lived in New York for 2 years, and that
Right.
was fun and interesting. Maybe London, just because of the industry I work in. I would love to move to Greece. I have Greek citizenship, but if I spend more than a month there, they'll send me off to military service, so I can't.
Is there a certain age that they stop sending you?
45, so you know,
You've got a while.
I've got a while. Yeah, definitely that, and then I don't know, just like live my life. Maybe I'll have a family.
Right.
If I
Do you
meet
want a family?
someone, yeah, maybe.
Really?
I don't know. This is now personal, but sure, I'm open to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love kids.
Yep.
I hear they're a lot of work.
Yeah.
So
I've got two. They're
Yeah.
adults now, but they're no, I don't regret them. They're they're a lot of fun. They add a lot of value to your life. Right? So it just depends on who they are, how you raise them. I guess.
yeah, it just depends. I mean, I'm very open to whatever. But just traveling I love traveling
Yeah.
and being overseas in general. So even if I don't move overseas, you'll catch me somewhere on a plane.
You just got back. Yes, you
Yes.
said just recently. You're going again.
Yeah.
It's lucky you.
I'm very, very fortunate to be able to travel as much as I am at the moment. But after this, I need to take a break and just
Chill.
stay put for a
Yeah.
bit, I think, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for
My
coming
pleasure.
in.
Thanks for
Yeah,
having
that
me.
was such a good conversation and really good to talk to you again. Good luck
My
with
pleasure.
everything.
Thank you very much.